Doesn't loyalty have to be earned? Well then, should you be loyal to toxic parents? Well, let's explore all this on today's Ask a Shrink. A healthy model of loyalty is that it is indeed earned. We give our support, our love, our loyalty to somebody who's proven to us that it's safe to be loyal to them. We want to be loyal to them. They deserve our loyalty. Well, what a lot of therapists notice is that with parental loyalty, everything gets very discombobulated. You can have an abused child who's now an adult still feeling like they owe the parent something. I need to be loyal to them. Even though that parent over many years beat that kid up every other week, neglected or abandoned them, had sex with them when they wanted to over a period of years perhaps, emotionally smothered them, turned them into a little mini husband or mini wife because they were in a bad marriage, took out all their angst and anxiety and strife in their life by verbally abusing that child, projecting it onto them, calling them stupid or you never amount to anything. So let's think about this for a minute. Why would this child, now an adult, need to be loyal to this parent? How might they be hurting themselves more in their attempt of loyalty, which may very well be based on trying to change things? Someday I'll get my mommy's love. Someday my daddy will respect me and really treat me like I mean something to him. So under the guise of loyalty, we perpetuate this abuse. We want to stay connected. It could very well be related to that childhood fantasy. Someday things will get better. Someday we're going to be a real family. So when a child has this fantasy of loyalty and what it means and how it may improve things someday, and or just thinking, well, that's what kids do. They grow up and they just have to honor and love their mother and father. That's what the church says. That's what other kids seem to do with their family, so I guess I'll do the same thing. Well, this is where we have to unthread this a little bit more. Because if a child's been taken advantage of throughout their childhood, used somehow, been there for the pleasure of their parent in various ways, not treated like they mattered, having their own identity thwarted by their own mother or father or both, then you don't owe them anything. And trying to owe them something as you get older is only going to hurt you, because you're not going to change them, but you can change yourself, and in this regard, you'll be changing your view, perhaps a societal view, perhaps a church view, perhaps a cultural view, to always honor your mother and father. That's a bunch of BS if you've been mishandled and mistreated throughout your childhood. Now, however, if at some point the parent takes in what's called the 3 R's, they have remorse, they express regret, and they take full responsibility for the maltreatment, then you get to decide if it's worth your effort to pursue an adult relationship with them, i.e. be loyal. But that's up to you. You may not choose to do that. You now get to make that decision. But especially that last R, responsibility. Have they taken full responsibility for misusing you? Taking full responsibility, which means then that they have to earn you back. We're loyal to people who earn our loyalty. Without thinking this through like this, we could be loyal to a fault. Many people are loyal to a fault. And the fault is that they're internalizing the abuse, the childhood trauma, like they've done something wrong, rather than placing it at the feet of the parent or parents where it actually belongs. That's the fault. When someone has blind parental loyalty, by virtue of using that word blind, it means they're overlooking something. They're blind. They don't want to see the truth of the matter. They don't want to deal with the fact that their own mother or father has this dark side of them that abused them for many years, perhaps. Rather than look at that and process the feelings about it and therefore separate from them in a healthy way where now this child, now an adult child, can grow and blossom in their life, rather than work through this, they'll stay in the denial and say, oh yeah, but I need to be loyal. That's blind loyalty. So if you're sort of pushing away concrete examples of how you were misused, somehow transforming family dysfunction into family virtue, somehow minimizing or ignoring all the harm your parents caused you because you just don't want to add to the conflict, if you're doing any of these things, and there's many more, then that's blind loyalty. If any loyalty comes with the submission of yourself, the diminishment of who you are as a person, then you will continue paying a price for this the rest of your life, perhaps. There needs to be a line in the sand. To many toxic parents, it's much about the need to be in control. You may feel like you genuinely love this parent, but ask yourself what that is about. Is it really love? Is that what love is? If you were mistreated through much of your childhood and disregarded in many ways, were you shown love? Is that what love is? And if you believe that to be love, then chances are that's what you're going to be seeking in a mate, a dating partner, now that you're an adult. Because you haven't worked through yet that that's not love at all. Love is uplifting, upholding, respecting, and cherishing somebody, definitely not mistreating them in any way. And if you try to talk about loyalty with a toxic parent, they're going to be real good at flipping this around. So you can't go by what others are saying, especially your toxic parents. You have to go inward and see your value, what you're all about, where you can thrive in your own life. And it definitely won't be because you're standing by and taking a lot of crap still as an adult from toxic parents. Hopefully with this video, you can begin cutting that cord. Always remember to look for those 3 R's if you decide to move forward in some form or fashion. So please drop a comment below. I'd love to hear any thoughts or feelings you have about this topic. Please subscribe to my mental health YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.